Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and at the moment it wouldn't be a week on Cracking the Cryptic if we didn't have a puzzle by Marty Sears. And so we are going to have one. This one is called Milestones, and we have had this recommended a lot, most recently, actually this morning. Miriam in Norway, thank you for this recommendation. Yeah, apparently it's brilliant. It's got 4 stars out of 5 for difficulty. I checked before I turned on the webcam. And a totally new rule set. And I can reveal something. I did sort of hint at this the other day on the channel, but I do know that Marty, many of you will have loved Marty's Rat Run series. And I believe there is a second season of Rat Run puzzles coming in the next few weeks. So that is something that we should all look forward to, all of us in the Sudoku world who get to engage with this remarkable man's brain occasionally. And right, anyway, so this is the puzzle. I will read you the rules, which are definitely unusual. These arrows in the grid have a strange property, and we're going to have to turn the grid. Is it orange and grey? Did I read? Yeah, grey and orange. We're going to have to make the grid entirely grey and orange today. Anyway, I'll read the rules in a moment or two's time. What can I tell you about before that? Well, we have our Sudoku Club, of course, over on Patreon. Do check it out. There's not only extra Sudoku solves there, and Mark's connection videos. If you do the New York Times connection puzzle, you'll enjoy that. And in fact, extra cryptic crossword content as well. But the most important thing there is, at the start of every month, we have a brand new Sudoku hunt competition. And at the moment, what have we got going on? Let's go. We've got this one, which is Caroline's Halloween Adventure, made for us by the Paint by Numbers Institute. Japanese sum Sudoku puzzles, which are always very popular. And yeah, check it out. You will enjoy it, and it is approachable. We're getting lots and lots of correct entries in every day. So I'm sure that you will enjoy those puzzles. Now, what else? I've got a few birthdays to do. Well, actually, the first announcement today is not a birthday announcement. It is a congratulations on a marriage announcement. Last weekend, Tom and Carol got married on Saturday in northeast Pennsylvania. And yeah, I was very intrigued to hear that they made newspapers about the wedding as the sort of wedding programs, and I've got the front cover of one to show you today. Look at this, the Newlywed Times. And that's just great. And apparently there was a Sudoku in the Newlywed Times on account of Tom's love of Sudoku puzzles. And yeah, and one of the facts that you could discover about Tom in the Newlywed Times was his love of cracking the cryptic. So thank you for the mention, Tom. I wonder if any of your wedding guests will have checked the channel out. And anyway, the two of you, I'm sure you had an amazing cake. It probably wasn't chocolate, but congratulations on your nuptials. Now the others are all birthdays, actually. So let's turn to Jennifer. Jennifer has turned 35 today. And I know this because your sister Fiona wrote to us, Jennifer. And Fiona said that she thought 35 sounded quite old until she realised that she was 4 years older than you. And she described you as a gin critic. I'm not sure if that was a professional gin critic or just a hobbyist. But apparently gin might take precedence over chocolate cake today. I also heard, Jennifer, that you have been known when watching the videos to skip the birthday announcements. Well, let us know if that happens today, or maybe one of your friends or relations will let us know. Anyway, Jennifer, I hope you have a great day today with gin-flavoured chocolate cake. Next, over there in New Jersey, it's Meg's birthday. Meg, you've turned 22 today, and I know this because your sister Wynne wrote in and said that you might appreciate a shout out. So Meg, many, many happy returns. I hope you have a great day today, with cake, of course. And then finally, someone who I know is not getting cake today, and I hope is safe. David turns 52 today, and is based in Orlando, Florida. And of course, apparently all of the shops there are shut because of the hurricane. I hope everyone watching this in that part of the world has managed to stay safe, and all of your friends, family, loved ones' homes are intact. Shocking, the scenes we've seen on the television here. But David, I know that you couldn't get a chocolate cake because all the stores were shut, but you're hoping that when your wife Erin reaches her birthday, which is only in 3 days' time, that the shops might be back open and you might be able to celebrate with cake then. Well, I hope that too. David, many happy returns. I hope you're able to have some sort of celebration today, and maybe doing this puzzle will provide you with some distraction. So with that said and done, let us turn our attention to Milestones by Marty Sears. I can hear Maverick has taken off in the distance. So Milestones, Marty, Maverick. We've got lots of ums going on. These are the rules of the puzzle. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So we have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. We have to divide the grid into grey and orange regions. What's grey and orange? Not sure. A region is a group of orthogonally connected cells of the same colour. Okay, orthogonally connected just means shares an edge. No 2 by 2 area may be all one colour, and 2 regions of the same colour may not touch diagonally. So, that sounds like it's trying to rule out checkerboards, doesn't it? So, yeah, I mean, that must be right. I'm not used to using grey and orange. If we had this setup, these regions, and these regions would touch diagonally, and that's apparently something we're not allowed to have. Now, milestones. A digit on an arrow cell indicates how many cells you have to travel in the indicated direction until you reach a cell of the opposite colour. E.g., if an orange arrow cell, let's make that orange, if an orange arrow cell contained a 1, then the neighbouring cell in the direction of the arrow would be grey. Oh, I see, yeah, okay. So that's just saying that the next cell, the very next cell, would be a different colour. So if that was a 2, then this square would have to be orange, and that would be grey. I think that's what it's saying. Now, Dutch whispers. 2 orthogonally adjacent orange cells must have a difference of at least 4. So I always find Dutch whispers very peculiar. So imagine this was a stripe of orangeness. Then whatever that digit is, let's make it a 2. This square would have to be at least 4 different from 2. So it would have to be 6, 7, 8, or 9. Be careful with Dutch whispers. They have similar properties to German whispers, if you're familiar with those, but they are a bit different. Region size clues. A small clue indicates the number of cells in the region. Oh, right. So that's how many. So we've got a 28 there. A 12, a 3. We've only got 4, actually, I think. 4 clues. So not all regions are clued by these things, because in Knowledge Bomb there are 81 cells in a Sudoku, and by my reckoning these numbers add up to 52, which is not 81. Anyway, there's one more rule. Balanced cages. In a cage, the sum of orange digits must equal the sum of grey digits. Digits may repeat in a cage if allowed by Sudoku. Okay, so that means in that cage there, we have to divide it up into greys and oranges, and then make sure that the sum of the orange bits equals the sum of the grey bits, and we're going to have to do that. Well, okay, so one thing that's telling us is all of the cages must contain both colours, mustn't they? We can't single colour any cage, but that might be solving, so I mustn't do that before we say, do have a go at the puzzle. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And although I suspect we have to start here somehow, I'm going to start by looking at arrow cells that are close to the edge of the grid. I mean, even the central cell, it's pointing, whatever colour it is, 1, 2, 3, it can't be bigger than 4, can it? I don't think. So that must be the same for this. That could be a 5. Oh, that one. That can only be a 1 or a 2. That one can only be a 1 or a 2. That one can only be a 1 or a 2. 1, 2 pair there. That one. Oh, okay. So in row 5, look, that one is 1, 2, 3, or 4 as well. There's a run of 3 arrows all pointing in the same direction there. Which I feel I should understand. Oh, well, okay, I've got one deduction from that. I think I'm probably meant to start here, but I'm going to start there. These two are the same colour. Which actually is immediately interesting. Okay, and the reason I think these are the same colour is, let's just imagine they were different colours. I won't use orange and grey, but let's imagine they were different colours. Well, then this squell, this squell, that's a cross between a square and a cell. This squell, I'm going to use that now because it amuses me. This squell would contain a 1, because the next cell is a different colour to it. And this squell would contain a 1, because this squell is a different colour to it. And I get 2 1s there. So these are the same. These squells are the same colour. So I'll make them purple for the time being. Oh, no, I've lost the numbering from this one, which is silly. One thing, oh no, that is quite interesting actually. If this was orange, this can very nearly not be orange. Because if it was orange, the adjacent digits in orange have to add up to, or have to have a difference of at least 4. And even if this was a 1, this is at least then a 5. And I don't think this can be bigger than 5. I mean, I might as well put that in, actually. And this can't be a 1 now, because this is the same colour as it. This can't be a 1, because it's the same colour as the cell above it. So, well, so... Ah, okay, so sorry, I hadn't appreciated the full implications of that. So this can't be orange now, can it? Because if this is orange, these have to differ by 4 in value, at least. And even if this is 2, this would need to be 6. And this can't be 6 because there aren't 6 cells it can point at. So this is, what colour was it? Grey. This is grey. It's not purple anymore. And okay, right, so now perhaps we look at this square. Now this by Sudoku can't be a 1 or a 2, so it's at least a 3, which means it has to be grey, because if it was orange it should be a 1. This is lovely actually so far. It isn't solving quite how I thought it. I thought I was going to have to start there, but it's fine, isn't it? It's not too bad. So this square is now not a 2, because these 2 squares beneath it are the correct colour. They are still grey. So this is now 3 or 4. But there's no grey cells. I don't think have any. Oh, the only thing that we have to be careful of with grey cells is the cages, which we haven't actually managed to get any grey cells into cages yet. But once we put them in cages, they have to balance with the orange. I think that's the only restriction on grey cells in terms of their actual quantum. So this is at least a 3, which would allow this to be a different colour. And one of these at least is orange, because this 3 or 4 must point at an orange in the column. Yeah, these differ in value from each other by 1, don't they? Because imagine this was 3, then the first orange seen in this direction would be there, but this would be a 4. So all I have to do is increase this by 1. It doesn't actually matter, does it? It's not actually helped me. But if this was grey as well, then this would be 4, 5, 6, or 7. Oh, I tell you what we could do then. because this is 1 different, this can't be 3. Because if this was 3, this would be 4. That's quite clever. Not of me, I hasten to add, but this is presumably all deliberate on Marty's part. Okay. So we're sort of getting somewhere, but we haven't really got far enough, have we? Oh, but hang on. I can extend that logic. Yes. This can't be 4, I don't think. I might be wrong about this. But what I'm thinking... Oh, no, actually, maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it just gets rid of 3 here, actually. Yeah, maybe the causality is a little different to how I thought. What I was trying to do was to force a 3-4 pair in this string, and I was noting if this was grey. So if this is grey, that becomes a 4, doesn't it? Because the first 3 cells are the same colour as it, so it's seeing an orange square here. But I was wondering if you had to have a 3-4 pair down here, but I don't think you do. But what we could do instead is, let me go back here, what we could do is to note that if this was a 3, that has the same effect. If this is a 3, this is a 4, which means this turns grey and is a 4. Let me show you what I mean. If that's a 3, by Sudoku this is a 4. This is the crucial thing. That pushes this grey here. It makes this orange. But what's the digit you put here? It's got to be 1 greater than this digit, hasn't it? It sees 1 more grey cell before it sees wherever the orange is up there. So that would be a 4. And that's not going to work. So what we can in fact say is that, well, now this is a massive number. Okay. So now we're going to stretch grey somewhat. The first orange scene is at least 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These are both grey. And either this one or this one is now orange. And this is 1 different, so that's now not 2 anymore. Oh, Bobbins face. Surely I can do better than this. I've not managed to put 1 orange in the puzzle yet. Oh, come on, Simon. Right, this is the square we should look at, isn't it? Because that is not capable of being a 1 or a 2. So, if it's grey, it's a grey 3 at least, and that's going to create 2 by 2s, which we're not allowed. So let me show you that. If that's grey, this has to be at least 3 by Sudoku, which means it's stretching grey up here, and we're going to get 2 by 2s. So I have got an orange square now. That's orange. That's my first orange square. And it is at least a 3 still. It still has that property, which means both of those have to be orange as well. Oh, now that's lovely, because that has to be a 1. It's most certainly not grey. So that's our first digit straight into the grid. Although it has taken me rather a long time to get it. So I really don't want to pencil mark this. Oh, I know what we could do. Orange has the Dutch whisper property, doesn't it? So this is huge. This square is at least a 5 now. I am actually going to pencil mark it. It's 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 by whisper logic. And therefore 1, 2, 3, 4, all of those have to be orange. Oh, if it goes 1 more, then this is part of a whatchamacallit. Whatchamacallit being a technical term for a 28-cell orange region. That would be very difficult to construct, actually. Because you're going to have to oscillate. Let's think a little bit about Dutch whisper oscillation. So you'll have noticed that this digit being a 1, it's going to force this digit to be high as well, actually. By high, I mean at least 5. And then you can think about this digit, and you can see this digit is almost certainly going to be low. Because if this is 6, 7, 8 or 9, 4 different from that is going to take us back in the direction of low numbers. But the reason you have to be careful with Dutch whispers, there's only one thing you have to be careful about, and that is, what if this is a 5? Well, then you don't get oscillation, because the only value this would have would be 9, and you can see 1 and 9 don't have the same polarity vis-a-vis 5. They are on opposites of sides of 5, and then this would be low again. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. That is always a bugbear or a bane of the solver when trying to get to grips with Dutch whisper logic. So, what do we do now? I've just got a big stripe of orange and a big stripe of grey, and oh, I see. Right, this square is where we look now, because that square can't be a 1 anymore, which means if it was orange, that it would be 1, because it would be immediately seeing grey. So that must be grey, and it's at least a 2. And oh, and there was the rule about we can't have diagonal connections. We can't have checkerboards in this puzzle. Can't remember where that was. No two regions of the same colour may touch diagonally. So if this was orange, these two regions would touch diagonally, wouldn't they? Or these two. Takes your choice which one of those you don't like. So that's grey, which means this square is 1 greater than the cell above it. Oh, and this square's become a 4 then. So that's got to be orange at the bottom of the grid, because there must be an orange pointed at by this clue. Now, where do we go from here? I don't know. Where do we go from? Okay, that's become a 5, I suppose. So that's 5. That goes 5, 6, 7. So the first orange cell is 5 away. So it's actually, I think we have to put another grey in up here. And then that is orange at the very top of the grid. Let's just double check that. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that looks right. So how does, okay, so this is, so this is not 5 now. And this is not 6 or 7. So this, okay, so we have to oscillate. This is 6, 7, 8 or 9. Actually, we can't put 5 on the line. So this is 2 or 3. And then we're going to bounce up again here, aren't we, into 6, 7, 8 and 9 again. Because even if this is 2 and we only add 4 to it, we still hit the other side of 5. Oh, hang on. Right, this is 5. If this was 8 or 9, I'd be saying there are 8 or 9 cells of orange above it. That's not possible, so that's 5. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's got to be grey. That's the massive region. The 28 region is grey now, which is going to put less pressure on it. Because it's not going to have to obey the whispers constraint. Okay, so where do we go now? I don't know. 5 is up there. let's try some Sudoku. Oh, I really don't know actually. I know one of these squares at least has to be orange, because this is a cage and it's got 2 digits in it. It can't be a 2 by 2 of grey, so it's got to have some orange here. Is it the fact that this has to be? No. Hang on. Hang on. Okay, no. I know what we have to do. This is classic Marty. That square is not grey, I don't think. Because if it was grey, how would that work? If this is grey, it's definitely not part of a region that is 28 cells large, because it's got a 9 in its corner. So that means it must not join orthogonally to this region, which makes that orange. And now this orange region is connected to this orange region diagonally, and that's not allowed. So this square is orange, and now it's part of a 9-cell region of orangeness. We know some of this has to be orange. Oh, actually that's orange. This is the first time I've used one of the cages, but look, I've got a 7 here. If this was grey, then the grey in this cage would definitely be bigger than 5, because this is already bigger than 5, so that's orange in the corner. And now these two squares have the same parity, which is interesting. Why do I say that? Well, look, you can see the difference between grey and orange is 2 at the moment. So what we're going to have to achieve is this has to be 2 greater than this. So these have the same parity. And that's interesting, isn't it? Eight and 9 won't work, but for a peculiar reason. The reason that 8 and 9 won't work, so why do I say 8 and 9? Why am I even thinking about 8 and 9? I need the same parity. I got obsessed with trying to make this digit big. And then I thought, oh, the only other digit I can pair it with is 8. And then I forgot the fact they had to be the same parity. They're definitely not 8 and 9 for a very simple reason. They're not of the same parity. I don't need to use that square, which is where my brain tried to do it. My brain is so weird. It's so weird. Right. Okay. So actually, so how does this work then? This has to be 2 greater. And because it can't be 9, because 7 isn't available, it can't be 8, 6 isn't available, it can't be 7, 5's not available, it can't be 6 or 5 by Sudoku. So it's got a maximum value of 4. So it is 4 or 3. And this is, well, can't be 1. So it is 2, and that's 4. That's very clever. Very clever setting. This is 3. That has to be 4 different from these digits. So these now can't be 6 anymore. This digit is difficult. It's 8 or 9. Okay, that's fine. Because it's got to be 4 different, at least from 4. And then this is going back down. Oh, hang on. No, let's do that. That's 1, that's 2. So what colour is this? Actually, maybe we don't even know. Okay, alright. But the only digits I've got left to put in box 7 are 3s, 8s and 9s. And this has to be a digit that is at least, 4 different from this. So that is the 3. This is an 8 or a 9. Oh, Simon, come on, what does this mean? Yeah, this could be orange now. In fact, both of these can be orange rather nicely. In fact, if both of those were orange, because they would obey the whispers constraint is what I'm thinking. These can't be 4 anymore because of this 4. And 1 and 3 are up here by that fair weather friend Sudoku. 4 is over there. You can tell I'm worried when I'm having to resort to Sudoku. If that's orange, this is grey. If that's grey, both of these are orange because I have to avoid 2x2s in both directions. I don't know. So how do we do this then? Right. It's this trick again, isn't it, I think? If this is grey, it has to be different from this. But it's going to create... Well, I don't think that works. I think it gives a checkerboard problem rather than anything else. But let's have a think about it. If this is grey and this is orange as a result, and the reason it's orange is that if it was grey as well, then we'd be joining the 28 region to the 3 region, and they can't be the same region. So this is orange now, but I have to avoid 2x2s in both of those positions. Oh no, that's okay, providing both of... Oh no, well, goodness me, that's complicated, actually. That doesn't work, because if you do that, you can avoid checkerboards, but only like this. And in doing that, you create a region that's got too large a size. That was complicated, but that is therefore orange. And what does that tell us about this? I don't know. Oh, hang on. What? Oh, right. Sorry, this is much more obvious than anything I've done. This is a 12 region. I just couldn't really see it against the pencil mark there. But so that must be different from the 28 region. So that's orange. Which is that interesting or not really? Actually, I don't think that's done very much. I've got a 2 here. So this is orange by dint of counting this. Yeah, you see, I might have missed something like that. I can well believe it. That I've just missed a milestone. Oh, I tell you something quite interesting about these squares. One of these is a 2. And that's by polarity, because the digits on the Dutch Whisper have to be 4 apart, and we can see no 5 is involved in this. So we can't have a 159 situation. One of these must be low and is a 2, and the other has to be at least then at least a 6. So these are from 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. And okay, and that is a 1, 2, 3 triple at the top of column. Nearly. Sure. Well, yes. No, this is good. This is good. Okay, this is a 1, 2, 3 triple by Sudoku. This became an 8 and 9 by Sudoku. These two squares now add up to at least 9. If this is 8 and this is 1, that's 9, isn't it? So could this be grey is my question. If this is grey, I'm going to add another digit on, which could be a repeated 1. Actually, that is in the rules. But that still gets to 10, and I can't write 10 into that square, so this is orange. And now that is grey. That's not what I was expecting. That's grey because it can't connect itself to a 4-cell string of orange. Okay, so what does that mean? Oh, there's some sort of message come up on my computer. Oh, I hope it's still recording. It looks like the webcam's still on. This digit is a high digit because it's not 2, so it's at least 6. And then, okay, so then we're going to whisper in the other direction, aren't we? Do we have to be a bit careful here? This is at least a... Oh, we do. We do, actually. Because 1, 2, and 3 have gone from the column, this square itself is at least a 4. So this can't be 6 or 7. It won't be big enough. It needs to be 4 different from at least 4. This square is 8 or 9, and now... Oh, well, okay. Oh, I think this has to be 4. Because what we're saying is the difference between these grey squares is 1. So the difference between these two has to be 1 as well to sort of equate the balance. So if you make this 5, this needs to be a 4, and it can't be. So this must be 4, this must be 3, and now this is 8, and this is 9. This is very, very lovely, Marty. I've come to expect it of you, but it really is. Oh, now this is 9, this is 8. This is 2, 6, and 7. This is a naked single 7, apparently. So these squares are now 2 and 6, and that only just works with the... Oh, but and we know the order, because we've got oscillation along here, haven't we? So this is 2, this is 6. That 2 affects those two squares, which now have to be a 1, 3 pair. This can still be orange, absolutely. Although, oh no, well, hang on. Yeah, this is orange. There must be grey. Well, we've got 8 in orange here, in this cage, which I haven't really thought about at all. So something down here needs to be grey, and it needs to be something... If these two are both grey, they add up to 10, which these don't, but we can equate everything by making that 9 and that orange. The orange still works beautifully. This orange has to grow because this is this area we're going to build. Oh, yeah, look at this. Right, so this digit is now a 7 or a 9 because it's got to be 4 different from this digit. But we can't go here with orange because if we were to go here, we have to connect this. Because you can't have a diagonal connection, this would have to connect. And that is much bigger than size 9. So we can't go there. That's got to be grey. That's got to be more orange because this needs to extend to be at least 9 big. So this is now low again. Well, but low is going to include 5, unfortunately, here. So it's 1, 2, or 5, I'm going to claim. Because this could be 9. This could be 5. That's not 2. Oh, hang on. It's 1 or 5. Alright, this is an outrageous bit of logic, but I'm going to use it because it looks like it's doing something. If this is a 1, it's a 1. If it's a 5, remember this line is extending further. Oh no, I'm wrong. No, it could be a 9 next, couldn't it? No, I'm wrong. I was hoping to do something by saying there had to be a 1 in this vicinity, because even if this is a 5, it's going to move on to a 1, but it could move on to a 9, providing... If it does go up here, then this would be a 1, even if this is a 5. But if it does go there, it could go... Well, actually, hang on, no, could it? Because if that's a 7, that is a 1. If that's a 9, no, it's okay, this works. If this is a 7, this is a 1 by dint of whisper. So that gets us a 1 here. That's the first situation. If this is a 9, then this could be... if it's not a 1, it could be 5. But then the 5 will go on to a 1 because it can't go on to a 9 because that's a 9 in that iteration. So there is definitely a 1 in one of those 3 squares in box 8. Now we can ask where 1 goes in column 4, look. Because it's not here. It's not here because of this 1, 3 pair. So it's in one of these squares, which... Okay, which doesn't tell us anything. Bobbins. Okay, that wasn't it. That was not it. Oh, it must... Is it Sudoku then? Is it these squares? They're 5 and 7. So they can't both be whisper because they wouldn't be 4 apart. Let's get our numbers correct. And these squares here are 6, 8, and 9. So there's going to be some arrow. Look, oh no, not that one. That digit is 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 2, 3, or 4, I think. These 2 digits are... Well, do we know anything about them? Well, I know one thing about them. They aren't both orange because they are not 4 apart. If they're both grey, that's building the 3 size area of size grey, isn't it? That sort of made sense, but then didn't. So what I'm saying is, if these are both grey, then I've built my 3 cell area of grey, so we'd have to completely enclose that in orange, which might fail for some reason. To do with whisperage. How would we view that? This would have to be a 2, I think, in that version of events. Oh, well, no, hang on. No, you can't do this for a much simpler reason, because you can't make these different to both of these, because these should both be 1s, shouldn't they? If those are both orange, these should both be 1, and they're not both 1. Ah, okay, so what we're actually learning is these are different. These are definitely different colours. So that's possibly interesting. This is a diagonal one. So if that's a 3, 1, 2, these would be the same colour as this. Well, that certainly is going to be impossible in some situations. Because I can see it's breaking this, although it's very complicated to see that. And that was only if... Hang on, let me think about this. So, if this is an orange 3, then I think we're broken. No, no, actually, no. Oh, I'm not sure now. Not sure now, sorry. I think in my brain I managed to disprove it one way around. But now I'm not so sure. Maybe it's easier to think about this digit. If this is a if that's a 1, do we run into problems straight away with checkerboarding? Because now these two have to be the same colour, which means that is also that colour, or we're going to have a problem. So all 3 of these would now be the same colour. And that colour couldn't be grey, so it would have to be orange. For reasons I'll explain in a second if we need to go down this route. So this is orange. These 2 are grey. It's quite difficult just from a whisper's perspective. This is then orange as well, isn't it, in this world? Oh, and then we have to avoid a 2 by 2. This is horrible. This can't work. I mean, it definitely doesn't work. I can tell that for nothing. There are far too many difficult digits to place here. So okay, let me try and articulate this, because I can see it's broken, but it's quite difficult to explain without showing. So what I'm saying is it possible for this ever to be a 1? I'm not talking about the colour of it, because I think it breaks in both situations. But if this is a 1, we know this is a 3, don't we? And now we know that we have to make a decision about colours. Oh, my phone is buzzing. In order to decide which way round we're going to look at this. So let's look at it as if... how should we do this? Let's make this grey in the first instance. So you can see this 3 is telling us both of those are grey. But now we're in a world of trouble, because I'm not allowed checkerboarding. So this cannot be orange and has to be grey, and it's going to make my 3 region too large. So that's very straightforwardly broken. Now what, on the other hand, if this is orange? Now this is grey. This is more complicated to disprove, but I think it's still broken, because now both of these are orange. But this is going to be a 2 by 2 if we don't make this grey. And now, well, now the issue here is I have built my grey region, haven't I? It is finished. And that's going to mean that all three of, in order to stop us hitting anything diagonally, everything in this box turns orange like that. Now, and indeed that square as well. Now I was alleging that this is now broken. Now, am I correct in saying that? I think I am. Well, am I? I mean, it feels so difficult in so many ways, but actually that would be grey as well. Oh, hang on, maybe the 12 thing is broken. I hadn't thought of that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, it doesn't work. That's the point. Oh, beautiful, Marty. Oh, that's lovely. And that's not how I saw it before. My gut reaction when I saw it before is it can't possibly build a whisper that's going to work. I could see that this would have to be a very high digit, and I thought it might break because these were 9 and 8, but actually this could be 7. But it breaks for a lovely reason, which is I've now built a region of size 13 in my 12 region. So that's not right. So actually, where do we end up with? We end up with a situation where this is 3. Now we're going to have to rethink everything. Because now we know that these two are the same colour. Oh, so can I do that again then? I.e., if these are both grey, aren't we going to get an orange region that's bigger than 12 again? Because these are different colours, we work that out. And now if this is a 1, these two are different colours. What we're effectively saying is that these two are the same colour. So imagine that these were grey and this was orange. I think this will fail for the same reason, which is we now built a region of size grey, or size 3 in grey. We can't make it any bigger. We have to surround it on all sides, including diagonally, by orange. Now, how big is this orange region up now? Oh, well, in fact, look, I've got a 2 by 2 as well, so it can't work. In fact, maybe yeah, no, it just doesn't work. It really, really, really doesn't work up here. Because when you make this orange, you need to make this grey to avoid a checkerboard, but you need to make this orange, and you're going to just build a checkerboard there immediately. So that fails utterly. So in fact, what we've now learned is that this is orange and this is grey. So this is orange, and this is 7. It needs to be 4 different, and it can't be 8 or 9. And therefore, well, what else do we learn from that? I don't know. Oh, this is a 3. So actually I can extend this. 1, 1, 2. So that's also orange, and this is grey. Which is potentially interesting, is it, or not? This has got to grow and be a bit bigger. It's quite difficult for this to grow. Yeah, it's very difficult for that to grow. This square here has got to be a low digit, doesn't it? It's got to be 4 different, so this is 1 or 2. It's not 1. Oh yeah, that's interesting. That's a 2 then, using the logic we did with 1s earlier. In fact, that's now not a 1, so maybe this has to extend here. If this is a 5, I need a 1 next, because this will be, if this goes 9, 5, this is 1. I've got to bear in mind this 12 has to be the right size as well. How do we do this then? Is there something obvious that we can just use? Don't know. I might have to think about what I was going. Oh, there's a 7 in one of those squares. I'm now trying to resort to Sudoku again in desperation. There's a 3 in one of those squares. 2. Where's 2? 2 is in one of those squares. Can that be 2 if it's orange? Yes, it would be. It would be 4 different from both its neighbours. Can that be orange? Yes, it would be 4 different from 6, so that's okay. What I was thinking about regarding this being of size 3, though, might be worth considering. So what I was thinking is, if this goes down to this square, this 3, well, let's make that orange. I think this is disprovable, because if that's orange, this has to be grey. And now how do I extend it? I can't extend it into this, because this is of size 28, or will be one day. And I can't extend it there, because then it will stop and I will create a checkerboard in there. So I don't think that works. I think that has to be grey. But then the same sort of thing applies here, doesn't it? If I extend this grey here, then this becomes orange because we've reached size 3, and that's a checkerboard, which I'm also not allowed. So I think maybe we know the shape of this. It has to be like that, and we can't make checkerboards, so let's not make checkerboards. So we've got a ring in the grid here. Now, oh, excuse me, I was about to have a coughing fit. But this 9 can't connect. Oh, wait. Not only do we have a ring here, but we have a 12-sized ring. So we actually have to make another ring, because this has to be ringed. That is of size 12. So every orthogonal and diagonal neighbour has to be grey. This has to be of size 9 and isn't yet. Goodness only knows what that's done to everything. Oh, well, what size is my grey region now? So that is 7. That's going to be 7, 14, 22, I think. Once I had another 8 for these squares. 22, that's okay. So no, there's still more growing to be done by this grey region. But surely now, well, this can't be a 1. I can do some whisperage, can't I? This has to be 8 or 9. It's got to be at least 4 different from this. I've got an 8, 9 pair in this row. So these squares are now 1, 5, 6, 7. Now, can that really be 7? There aren't 7 cells below it. No, it can't. That can't be 1 by dint of Sudoku. There's probably loads of whisper logic we can do here. Oh. Well, now does that have to be a 1, I want to say, because of the logic I did earlier. And if that can't be a 1, then it... Well, I needed a 1 down here, I thought. If this is 9, and this is 5, we need a 1 then next, because we can't have a 9. There's no 1 possible. So this has to be a 1. There's no other digit available. And okay, so that of course doesn't tell us what this digit is, but it does tell us that this is now at least a 5. So this is 5, 6, 7, 9. But again, this could be 5. If this is 9, this is 5. This is why you have to be so careful with this. This does have to be relatively low. It has to be 2 or 5. Which is almost interesting, isn't it? So where should we look now? This digit has to be... It's 7, 8 or 9, but 8 or 9 because it can't be 7. So this digit, we're back in low territory again, but we have to include 5, but it can't be 5. So this is 4 actually, I think. That might be all it can be. It can't be 1, 2, 3 or 5. That is 4. So this is... this is 8 or 9 then, and that gives me an 8, 9 pair in this column. So that is a 7. Now, I've lost a bit of track of the arrows or the milestones. So, how do we... Do I not know what these are yet somehow? I don't know. This the other thing we're going to have to think about at some point is making sure these cages balance, I should say. I don't know where to look, I'm afraid. Am I being very daft here? Yes, I can almost hear you all chorus from the future. Let's try and do Sudoku on row 5. 5, 6, 8 and 9. Can we do it? That's not 8 or 9, is it? So that's 5 or 6. There's definitely 8s and 9s over here. Do we know what this is? Yes. Yes, we do actually. That's interesting. That can't be grey, because then it should be a 2 for the first orange it sees. So that is orange and is a 1, which means this is a 1 and this is a 2. That nearly makes it hard. It does make it harder for this to be orange, but it still could be. It just would stop it being a 7 if it was. Stop it being a 5, sorry, because it needs to be 4 different. So 2 is in one of those squares now. And we've got to do something else, and I don't know what it is. It can't be. What can it be? I don't see anything here. Is it going to be something to do with... I don't know. I'm just... That digit is at least a 4. Oh, I see. No, I have got something. It's this cage, isn't it? Yeah, so perhaps actually what I should do... it's totally against my better nature. But I should do Sudoku. This digit here can't be 1, 2 or 3 or 7, 8 or 9. So that is 4, 5 or 6. This digit can't be 1, 2 or 3 or 5 or 6. So it's at least 4 as well. It's 4, 7, 8 or 9 by Sudoku. Now, if we look at these as a combination, if you like, there is no way, even the minimum I could make these two add up to is to be a 4-5 pair by putting 4 here and 5 here, which means the minimum these greys sum to is 10. So how could these not both be orange? They must both be orange because they have to add up in total to a double-digit number. So they are both orange. And now... Well, now what do we do? Does that do anything? Well, okay, yes, it does sort of things, doesn't it? This can't be a 5 anymore, because it must be 4 different from this at least. I mean, if this was a 4, oh, then it has all sorts of implications. Yeah, because it would be pushing the oranges up the grid, wouldn't it? Well, at least to here. But if this is the only way... Oh, hang on. Well, if that's a 6, it can't be 6 here. Because that would need to be a 2. And 2 and 6 only add up to 8. And we're looking for at least 10. So that's no good. Which... It's interesting. It's not good enough, is it? Doesn't quite get me to where I need to be. So if that's orange, it's a very natural colour for it to be, given it would have to be different from this high digit. What about... Oh, see, that can be orange as well. That's so annoying. Because this could be a 5-9 pair. There doesn't seem to be anything preventing that. Oh, I don't know where to look. How am I meant to look now? This is... Okay, that can't be a 5. Is that even true? Why can't that be 9? I'm not sure this pencil mark's correct. I could go 1, 5, 9. That could be a 9, I think. 1, 5. Would knock a couple of degrees of freedom out there, but this could be 9. There's no problem with that, is there? I don't think there is. This is a 3. That can be next to 8 or 9. Or is it something to do with this 28? Where are we up to with that count? 22? So it's got 6 more cells to grow. And there are certain places it can't grow. I mean, we can never make 2 by 2, so we're always going to have something orangey to get in the way of those. I don't know. I'm stuck. That's basically where I'm up to. I've got stuck. Maybe what we could do... Oh, I don't want to do it. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to pencil mark column 5, I think. 5, 6, 8, 9 again. I think I've said that before. This can't be 9. Do I get any amelioration of anything else? I don't think so. This 12 is complete. This 28 is not complete. Have I done the others? This is 9. At the moment I've got 7. And whichever way it goes next. I don't think we know. So maybe it's to do with... Maybe it's to do with these arrows somehow. Let's think about that. If this was a 2, then at least we know the colour of this. That has to be grey. We then also know the colour of this. Oh, that doesn't work. Oh, it's that simple. Right, sorry. Okay, this is where we look next. If this is 2, this is a 1 by dint of Sudoku, and now this needs to be a 5 or a 6, which makes it grey, because it must share a colour with this, and that gives us a 2 by 2 of grey. So that's actually very straightforward. I just didn't see it. So now this is at least a 3, which means that turns orange. Oh, that doesn't help us with the... It doesn't help us, does it, with the whisperage? Because this is a very natural connection. I've already mentioned that. But, okay, can we do... Oh, we've got this one. I've not even looked at this one, actually. Oh, let's look at that. What? Oh, hang on. What is this digit? I've never even looked at this clue. It's not bigger than 3. It's a 1 or a 2. No. It can't be 3 because of Sudoku. And it can't be bigger than 3. It's a 1 or a 2. So now this is not a 2. So this is a 2. Oh, that would have got rid of the that would have got rid of the 2 there rather more cleanly, wouldn't it? Right. Okay. So now look, we can think about 8 and 9 in this box. They're a pair by Sudoku of all things. This has got to be a 4, 5, or a 6. And this 8, 9 pair, is that doing something? 3, 4, and 7 into these squares. That's nearly important. It's still possible for this to be orange if this is a 3, 7 pair. So that's still on the cards. There must be a grey in one of these. Which, how do we think this is going to resolve itself? If that's a 1, it's grey. And that's orange. And this would be a 2. So this would be orange, this would be orange, this would be grey. 1, 2, 1. I think we get a ring of orange there. That almost looks right, doesn't it? So what I'm saying is, if this is a 1, because it sort of unwinds like this, I think what we're going to prove here is that we get this becomes grey, and this forces this to be orange. This is orange by dint of 2 by 2 here, and this is orange to prevent a thing, and you get this sort of nodule here of orange, which looks, I mean, that might fail for a reason that I don't understand. That would then be a 3, wouldn't it? Oh, hang on, I'm going to go back to something else I want to have a quick think about, which I hadn't thought about again. What about these 2 squares now? They can't add up to that much. In fact, that's an 8 or a 9. Ah, hang on, what's going on here? I've got a problem. The minimum sum, oh, that's it. The minimum sum of this is 13 now. Because I could go 8, 4, 1, that's 13. The maximum sum of the right-hand side is 13, so that's where we're going next. 9, 4, 8, 4, 5, 6 pair here. Right, what do we need in this column? We need 3 and 4. I can do that. That's 3. That's 4. Oh, bobbins. But this 4 means that's turned orange, which is not what I... Well, that really isn't what I was expecting, because now this is a 5 or a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. It can't be a 6. It just can't be a 6. Because if it's a 6, we're saying that this is the first grey cell it sees. And that cell is clearly orange, so that's a 5. That's not 5 now, which I think will have an implication for this square. But let's not worry about that too early. This is a 1 by dint of whisper. Because it's got to be 4 different from 5. That's a 2 now, so this is grey because of the 1 clue. That 2 is saying these 2 are the same colour, which probably matters. These is not 5, these are not 5. This could still be orange if it's a 1, very explicitly by whisperage. Marty, you are one crazy individual. What on earth have you done here? Okay, well this is 5, so 1, 2, 3, that's orange, that's grey. So this needs to obey the rules, and that must be an 8. That's lovely. So 9, 8, 9, okay, good. These can't be 8 anymore. This is a 9. What about, that's not 9, so this must be 5, 6, and, oh, the 8 goes here, look, that's obvious. This is 5 or 6. This is, oh, well, oh no, I don't know. Oh, that's 2 now, because of this being a 9. So that's 6 by dint of whisper, that's 5, that's 7, look. Okay, we are slowly getting somewhere. These squares are not 9. These are, oh, so I've got all these 5, 6 pairs doing the rounds, and these squares are 3 and 9. At least the Sudoku is still holding together. But that's, oh no. So we've got some more cages to think about as well. Oh, I wonder what the digits are in this column. Oh, 2. I can place 2 in box 3, and I need 3, 6, and 7. That is a naked single 6. Come on, this must resolve. Look at all these pairs across rows 1 and 2. But, oh, this has to grow, doesn't it? That's got to be at least 9 big. So this is now a high digit and is a 9. Which means that's not a 9. 9 is in one of those 2 squares by Sudoku. And when we extend, let's work out what we've got as options for this square and this square. So this is a 1, 4 pair, both of which work with a 9. So whichever one of these is orange, I mean. Oh, hang on, that can't be orange. We can't extend this to be orange because that will be the limit. That will be the 9-cell sequence. and that's going to make that grey so it doesn't attach to this orange, and that's going to lead to a checkerboard. So we've got to extend there, and that gets us a 5 in the bottom row. So this isn't 5. These are both grey. I've not been keeping track. Oh, look, this has to be an orange 3 to make this add up and have balance. So that gives me a 3 here and a 7 here. That's a 7 by Sudoku. This is grey by dint of 2 by 2-age. And therefore, oh, we must be right on the cusp. This digit is grey, because if it was orange, it wouldn't be 5 different or 4 different from 5. I mean, how are we ever going to... Have I missed a clue or so? How does this ever get resolved up here in terms of colouring? Oh no, I don't really understand. I don't really understand, if I'm honest. That's not a 1. So, okay, this isn't a 9. So this is 5 or 6, making a pair in the row. And we've still got balance to achieve in this cage here. And we've got this clue that we've got to deal with. And I have also been extending, haven't I, my grey. So the greys at the moment, I've got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So I have made a ricket. Ah, except, did I just count those in that count? And those as well. Oh no, I am just an absolutely inept human being. Right, let's try that again. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. That's a much lower number. Oh, so I've still got 2 degrees of freedom. Oh, bother. Well, okay, that can't be grey by that logic. Because again, to avoid checkerboards then, all 3 of those would be in, wouldn't they? So that has to be orange, and it has to be 4 different from 5. So this is a 1. So this is a 1, this is a 4. So this, see, it's still, the Sudoku is not revealing itself. And that could still be orange if it's a 6. But this is a 2. So it's this, these two are the same colour, aren't they? Ah, that's used. So this is orange. And now avoid a checkerboard, that's orange. This doesn't have to get out. Normally this would have to get out. But in this puzzle it doesn't. It just has to not touch it. So we could be getting a sort of 9 shape in the grid. Or an E. Oh, Joe or something. Okay, that's a 6. That's an 8. 5s. Oh, I see. That's going to be done by balance. So we look like we've got a deadly pattern of 5s and 6s in the grid. This is grey by dint of, if it was orange, it wouldn't be sufficiently different. So that is grey. And that means I've only got 1 more grey to find. So this can't be grey because it would connect to that. So this is orange. Oh, 3 and 7 are far enough apart, so they can be together. So we only have to... What are these 2 digits then? 9. 9 can't. Well, it depends. It depends what's orange. What are the digits up here? 4. They are 4 and 9. Well, that's great. This digit cannot be orange, because it wouldn't be sufficiently different. So that's the final grey cell that connects to the grey thing in the grid, not those and not those. That region I've just drawn. I'm just going to double check the count. Yeah, that is 28. I can see that very clearly. So all of that's how we do the top row. Oh, but now that needs to obey whisperage, which will be interesting. It will be interesting, actually. That square's got to be a 7 now. So that's a 3. So that's a 9. This is an 8. That's a 4. That's a 9. This is 8. This is 6. This is 6. This is 5. That is 5. This is 3. And that's 7. And all of that gets resolved. And all we're going to have to do is to work out how this cage works, I think. That's weird. That's very strange, isn't it? Is that all I've got to do? And somehow this resolves. There's only one way of balancing this cage. That doesn't seem right. Okay, here's a small point. If this is orange, then this is also orange. Because if this is orange and this is grey, we get a checkerboard. So this is not able to be orange, because if this was orange, these two are not 4 apart. So now I've got at least 12. So the 8 must be orange, because if the 8 isn't orange, in fact both of these have to be orange, because I've got at least 12. I can't get to even 12 unless both of these are orange. So both of these are orange. That does work, believe it or not, here. And now all I have to... This is... What a finish this is. Now this has to add up to 13. So that's actually a 6. That's 6, that's 5, that's 5, that's 6. There we go. What a puzzle that is. That's incredible. Incredible. And look, we've got this beautiful pattern in the grid. Sort of... In fact, it is very symmetrical. We've got this pattern of grey is very, very symmetrical. That must be right. Yeah. Oh, goodness me. Hang on. We've got a poem. These stones along the path we tread, which point us to the way ahead, each marking a small step we take and guiding choices that we make. From first breath to final sigh, they chart the course as time flies by. And looking back, we'll find we've grown with each and every milestone. That's lovely. Is that actually a real poem, or has Marty written that? Oh, thank you for solving my 100th puzzle on Logic Masters Germany. The last 2 years have been an absolute... Oh, that's your 100th puzzle. Oh, I didn't know this. Oh, goodness me. That is fantastic, isn't it? So that's to celebrate Marty's milestone, literally. That is absolutely beautiful. What a beautiful puzzle. And, oh my goodness me, hang on, forget the grey, forget the grey, highlight the orange. Can you look at that? 100. Oh. How have you done that? That is wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. I thought it was spelling out a word at one point. I didn't realise it was spelling out a number, let alone an apposite number. Oh, Marty, so you've built a puzzle but to celebrate your milestone, and you've written 100 in the grid, and then designed a puzzle that finishes like that, so it just, as a final flourish, it brings out the final piece of the O. Entirely symmetrical, entirely full of beautiful logic. I mean, this is where... It's just fantastic. What a fitting puzzle. I mean, Marty Sears, I've said it before, I will say it again, is a genius. Wow. Wow. Let me know, and I hope some of you did that, and I hope you had the experience at the end where you were like, whoa. That is stunning. And yeah, it's stunning. Let me know in the comments how you got on. Do give Marty the most incredible credit, not just for this puzzle, which is fantastic, but for, I mean, I don't know how many of the 100 will have done on the channel. It's probably quite a fair number. And think of all the hours of joy that have been sort of, spread and broadcast through the world as a result of those efforts of Marty's. It is quite a lot. Loved it, absolutely loved it. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.